In this section, we're going to see a shortcut for graphing lines using intercepts. Remember, intercepts are the ones that touch the axes. So an x-intercept touches the x-axis. If it's on the x-axis, its y value is 0. So x-intercepts have y equal to 0. And if it's on the y-axis, vertical one, it's a y-intercept. And y-intercepts have x equal to 0. So we can replace x with 0, and that will give us our y-intercept. We can replace y with 0 and solve for x, and that will give us our x-intercept. This is easy to do, sometimes can be done in our heads without even writing anything down, and then they're easy to graph as well because x-intercepts, I'm just going to look for whatever number the y is. The x is for the x-intercept. Look for whatever number the x is. For the y-intercept, I'm going to look for the number the y is and graph it. So these will be much quicker. The time to use this method is when x and y terms are on the same side. When x term and y term are on the same side, intercept method is the easiest. In the next section, we'll see when y is on a side by itself, the method that we'll use will be different. Okay, let's look at this example. 2x minus y equals -4. X and y are on the same side. So I'm first going to make x 0 and then y 0. So I'm going to make my little t-table with the x 0. Now, typically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my equation, and if x is 0, then what happens to this entire term? It becomes 0. So usually I would cover that up with my hand, ignore it there, and look at just this part. -y equals -4. And -y equals -4. What must y be? Must be 4. If that's difficult for you to do in your head, go ahead and do the division, dividing both sides by -1, and get y equal to 4. Okay, now let's do the other one. 2x minus y equals -4. In this case, we're going to make the y 0, so that makes the minus y 0, leaving just 2x equals -4. Again, you could probably do that in your head. 2 times what equals -4? It's going to be -2. But if you can't, go ahead and divide both sides by 2 and end up with x equals -2. So y is negative, and y is 4 is the y-intercept, and -2 is the x-intercept. So on the y-axis, I'm going to find the 4, and on the x-axis, the -2. Those are the intercepts. So now all I have to do is connect the dots. And get my line. Okay. Let's try another one of those. Let's try 3x plus 2y equals 6. 3x plus 2y equals 6. So I'm going to make an xy table. I'm going to make x 0, so that's going to give me the y-intercept. We'll make y 0, so that's going to give me the x-intercept. So let's copy this down a couple times, one for each. So I'm going to make x 0, so that means 3 times 0 is 0, so this whole thing is 0, and all I'm left with is 2y equals 6. Again, I can probably do that in my head. If not, I can divide by the 2's and see that y is going to be 3. In this case, y is 0, so 2 times y is 0, leaving just 3x equals 6. Again, I can do that in my head. That must be 2. But if I need to, I can write it out. Divide both sides by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So the y-intercept is 3, and the x-intercept is 2. All that's left is to connect the dots. Put the little arrows on. Okay, why don't you try one? Why don't you try x plus 2x minus 5y equals 10. 2x minus 5y equals 10. Pause this and then come back and see if you've done it correctly. Okay, the table's going to be xy so for x to be 0, that's going to give me the y-intercept. For y to be 0, it's going to give me the x-intercept. Be careful with the signs. It's really the most difficult part. So first of all, I'm going to let x be 0. So 2x is 0, and that just leaves me the equation negative 5y equals 10. So y is going to end up being negative 2. Okay, next I'm going to let y be 0. So negative 5y is 0, leaving me with 2x equals 10. And I know that x must be 5. So the y is negative 2, the x is 5, and I'm going to connect the dots, giving me my line. Much easier method than just choosing any old x and y. I'm choosing the x and y that are 0 so that I'm getting the intercepts and therefore quickly being able to graph the line. The next section we'll look at when y is alone on one side.